A suburban house in the United States, a cloudy late afternoon. The father, Michael, is sitting at the kitchen table with his new wife, Linda. Next to him, his 8-year-old daughter, Emily, plays quietly. The tension in the air is palpable. Michael seems suspicious, but is trying to convince himself that everything is normal. Emily whispering to herself, watching the stepmother prepare tea. Something's not right, she's acting strange. Linda, with a forced smile, places the cup of tea in front of Michael. Linda, smiling but visibly nervous. "Honey, I made your favorite tea. It'll relax you after such a long day at work." Michael hesitates holding the cup, but Emily interrupts him. Emily, wide-eyed, running to her father. "Daddy, don't drink the tea from that cup. The new mommy put poison in it." Michael freezes, looking between his daughter and his wife. Linda instantly pales, her hands trembling. Linda, in an altered voice. "What? Emily, what are you talking about? That's ridiculous." Michael puts down the cup and stands up, trying to process what he just heard. Michael, still in disbelief, looks at Emily and then at Linda. The silence in the air is sharp until he finally breaks the moment. Michael, with a tense voice. "Emily, why are you saying this? It can't be true." Emily, visibly scared, grabs her father's arm tightly. Emily, pleading. "I heard Daddy. I heard her on the phone today talking about putting something in your tea. Please believe me." Linda begins to laugh nervously, her panicked expression quickly replaced by a mask of anger. Linda, forcing a smile. "Michael, this is absurd. She's just a child with a fertile imagination." "Emily, you must have heard wrong." Michael, still holding the cup, begins to tremble. He stares at Linda as if seeing her for the first time. Michael, with a cold voice. "Linda, why would Emily say that? She would never do something like that without reason, and what's going on?" Linda crosses her arms and starts pacing around the kitchen, her growing nervousness becoming evident. Linda, defensive. "Are you really believing this nonsense? I'm your wife now, Michael. Why would I do something to hurt you? Emily is just jealous because you remarried." Emily pulls on Michael's shirt sleeve, tears beginning to roll down her face. Emily, crying. "Daddy, please don't drink the tea. I just want you to be okay." Michael stares at Linda for a few more seconds, his face a mixture of confusion and pain. Michael, murmuring, "Linda, look at me and tell me, Sam, is this true? Did you put something in my tea?" Linda stops pacing. Her gaze becomes vacant for a moment. She takes a deep breath before responding with a tense smile. Linda, with a threatening tone, "And if I say yes, Michael, what are you going to do now?" The tension explodes. The air in the kitchen feels denser. Michael lets go of the cup, which falls to the floor and shatters. The sound of the cup breaking echoes through the kitchen. Michael takes a step back, completely shaken. He can hardly believe what's happening. Emily, still crying, hides behind her father. Michael, with a trembling voice, "Linda, how could you? What's happening to you?" Linda finally lets out a bitter laugh, as if dropping a mask she had been holding for too long. Her eyes, once sweet, now carry a chilling coldness. Linda, darkly, "I knew this was going to happen sooner or later. Michael, you're so naive. You thought I was with you for love. Did you really think I wanted to be the new mommy for your perfect little daughter?" Michael feels the world collapse around him. He steps back, almost tripping on one of the shards of the cup. Michael, perplexed. "So it was all a lie?" Linda, derisively. "Of course it was. You have money, Michael. Money that I need. I wasn't going to waste years of my life taking care of a child that isn't mine for a man who means nothing to me." Emily, hidden behind Michael, hears every word with a broken heart, her hands gripping her father's arm tightly. Emily, almost whispering, "Daddy, I'm sorry." Michael, with anger and sadness growing in his chest, steps away from Linda and grabs the phone. He needs to call for help. Michael, determined, "This ends now, Linda. I'm calling the police." Linda, however, moves quickly. She positions herself between Michael and the phone, her eyes filled with fury. Linda, threatening, "Do you think it's going to be that easy, Michael? Don't forget we're alone here, and I still have something to finish." She looks at the knife on the counter, and for a second the tension in the air becomes unbearable. Michael follows her gaze, and he understands the imminent danger. Time seems to stop, as Michael realizes he's in an even more dangerous situation than he thought. Michael feels his heart race as he realizes the critical situation. Linda takes a step toward the knife on the counter, while he, with a quick move, grabs Emily's arm and puts her behind him, protecting her. Michael, nervous but firm, "Linda, don't do this. You can still stop. You don't need to make things worse." Linda laughs, an almost hysterical laugh, as she grips the knife tightly. Her eyes are fixed on Michael, but the tension in the air is palpable. Linda, angry, "Worse? I've come this far, Michael. I never planned on being caught, but now there's only one way to end this." Emily, trembling, clutches her father's shirt, still sobbing softly. Emily, desperate, "Daddy, I'm scared. Please make her stop." Michael, feeling the weight of the situation and the fragility of his daughter, takes a deep breath. He needs to be strong, not just for himself, but especially for Emily. He looks Linda in the eyes, trying to buy time. Michael, trying to calm her, "You don't need to do this, Linda. Think for a second. If you keep going like this, there's no turning back. The police can help you. We can solve this another way." For a moment, Linda seems to waver, as if a part of her is fighting against the madness consuming her. She lowers the knife slightly, looking at Michael with a mix of hatred and confusion. Linda, whispering, "Do you think there's a way out for me, Michael? I've gone too far." At that moment, a police siren echoes in the distance, breaking the silence of the house. Emily, with unexpected courage, shouts, Emily, looking out the window, "Daddy, the police are here, they're here." The sound of the siren seems to wake Linda from her furious state. She looks out the window, startled, seeing the police car lights reflecting on the walls of the house. Michael takes advantage of the distraction and quickly moves, knocking the knife out of her hands. Linda falls to the floor, surprised, while Michael firmly holds her, preventing any attempt to resist. Michael, firmly, "It's over, Linda, it's over." Emily runs to the door, opening it as the police enter the house. Linda, defeated, doesn't fight anymore. Michael releases her and steps back, emotionally exhausted. The police arrest Linda, while Michael embraces Emily tightly. The chaos finally seems to end, but the emotional impact is deep. The police handcuff Linda and lead her out of the house. She doesn't resist, but her cold expression persists, as if she knows she caused irreparable damage. Michael, with his heart racing and his arms around Emily, tries to stay calm, but the fear and pain in his chest are overwhelming. Officer Brandon speaks firmly to Michael. "It's all okay now, sir. We're taking her to the station. You and your daughter are safe." Michael nods, speechless, as he watches Linda being placed in the patrol car. Her hateful gaze turns to him one last time. Linda, yelling, "This isn't over, Michael. I'll be back, and you'll pay for this." Emily trembles at Linda's words, clinging more tightly to her father. Michael swallows hard, feeling a chill down his spine, but decides to stay calm for his daughter. Michael, trying to reassure Emily, "She's not coming back, sweetheart. We're safe now, I promise." But even as he speaks, Michael knows that the emotional wounds from that night will take time to heal. He looks at the broken cup on the floor, remembering the danger that almost consumed him. The cup was a symbol of what Linda represented, a perfect appearance, but full of poison inside. Emily, whimpering with a trembling voice, "Daddy, I never want to see the new mommy again." Michael kneels in front of Emily, holding her little face in his hands. Michael, with a soft but firm voice, "You'll never see her again, Emily. And I'm sorry for letting this happen. I promise I'll protect you always." Emily wipes her tears, feeling safe in her father's arms. She lets out a deep sigh as if relieved to have survived that horrible night. The police leave Michael and Emily alone in the house. Silence returns, but it's a different silence now. A silence of relief, but also of mourning for all that was almost lost. The house is silent now, except for the soft sound of Emily's breathing, still in Michael's arms. The clock on the wall marks the time that seemed to stop during all that tension. Michael slowly stands up, picks Emily up, and takes her to the living room couch. He sits next to her, still feeling the weight of what just happened. Emily, in a low voice, breaking the silence, "Daddy, I love you. I was so scared of losing you." Michael, emotional, hugs her even tighter, feeling the urgency to protect her like never before. Michael, with a choked voice, "I love you too, Emily. More than anything, and I'm so sorry, and I'm sorry for everything you went through. I should never have let this happen." Emily looks at him with her big, understanding eyes, still shaken but starting to feel safe again. Emily, taking a deep breath, "We're going to be okay, right, Daddy?" Michael for a moment hesitates. He knows the road ahead will be difficult. Trusting again, rebuilding what was broken will take time. But looking at his daughter, he realizes that the most important thing he still has, the love between them. Michael, convicted. "Yes, my love, we're going to be okay, always." The broken cup on the kitchen floor with the spilled tea around it. It's a reminder of the danger that passed, but also of how Michael and Emily overcame the greatest test of their lives. The door to the house, once a symbol of new beginnings, is now locked, protecting them from what was left behind. The future is still uncertain, but that night father and daughter survived a test that brought them even closer together. Months pass since that terrible night, and Michael and Emily's life begins to find a new balance. The house, which once seemed full of shadows, is now lighter, with the sun illuminating the rooms. Emily has returned to smiling, playing in the backyard with her friends, and Michael watches with a sense of gratitude for having her by his side. However, the emotional scar remains. Michael, sitting on the porch, reflects on how he almost lost everything by trusting blindly. He knows that rebuilding his trust will be a slow process, but every day he and Emily are recovering. Michael, thinking to himself, "I learned the hardest lesson of all. I will never put the people I love at risk like that again. Now everything will be different." As Emily runs toward him with a smile, Michael realizes that despite everything, they survived. The tragedy strengthened and united them even more. Linda is gone, and with her, the threat that nearly destroyed their lives. Emily sits next to her father, exhausted from playing. Emily, happily speaking, "Daddy, do you promise it will be just us two forever now?" Michael smiles and kisses the top of her head. Michael, gently, "I promise, my love. It will be just us two, and I will never let anyone hurt us again." They sit there on the porch, enjoying the moment of peace they so deserve. The future may still bring challenges, but now together they are ready to face anything. This emotional story of Michael and Emily, who faced a terrifying and dangerous situation inside their own home. Michael's trust was shaken, and Emily had to be braver than her age to save her father's life. Together, they overcame fear, betrayal, and Linda's threat. and now they are rebuilding their lives with more strength and unity. This story reminds us of how people can hide their true intentions and how important it is to always be aware of those around us. However, even in the most difficult moments, courage, love, and the protection of those who matter most help us overcome any obstacle. Now, a question for you watching. What would you do if you were in Michael's place? Share your opinions in the comments. And let's talk about how trust in relationships can deeply impact our lives. Don't forget to subscribe to the Kolob Inspired Stories channel for more emotional and impactful stories like this. If you enjoyed the story, leave a like and activate the bell to be notified whenever we have new videos. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and I hope you connected with this story of overcoming and courage. See you in the next video. Until then.